The symbols we choose to permanently inscribe upon our physical vessels are far more than mere decorative art. They are energetic gateways, ancient languages that speak directly to the soul realm, whether we consciously recognize their power or not. When you select a symbol to become part of your physical form, you are engaging with frequencies that have existed since time immemorial. Every line, curve, and pattern carries a vibrational signature that resonates with specific cosmic forces. These symbols, whether they appear as geometric patterns, ancient glyphs, or modern designs, contain codes that activate spiritual portals within your energetic field. This truth was understood by ancient civilizations who used sacred geometry and symbolic representation as tools for communion with higher realms. Consider the spiral, a pattern found throughout nature from galaxies to seashells. When tattooed on the body, this symbol connects the wearer to the universal principle of evolution and cosmic expansion. The bearer may experience subtle shifts in consciousness, drawing them towards spiritual growth without understanding why they feel compelled towards such transformation. Similarly, symbols like the lotus flower, the tree of life, or even the infinity symbol carry millennia of collective consciousness imprints. These are not merely artistic choices, but unconscious alignments with specific spiritual frequencies. The ancients understood this profound relationship between symbol and soul. Egyptian hieroglyphs, Sanskrit characters, and indigenous tribal markings were all carefully selected for their energetic properties and ability to invoke specific spiritual qualities. What many fail to understand is that these portals remain active regardless of your knowledge of their meaning. A person who chooses a protection symbol from an ancient tradition they know nothing about will still experience the energetic shield it provides. Conversely, someone who selects a symbol of bondage or spiritual limitation will encounter those restrictions even without understanding the source of their sudden energetic blockages. Cayce once suggested that symbols act as transmitters of universal forces, creating bridges between our physical reality and higher dimensions. This transmission occurs whether we consciously believe in it or not, just as gravity affects us regardless of our belief in its existence. The symbol's power lies in its inherent frequency, not in our intellectual understanding of its meaning. Consider the profound responsibility this places upon the choice of permanent body art. Many individuals are drawn to specific symbols through what they perceive as aesthetic preference, unaware that their higher self may be guiding them towards symbols that activate specific soul lessons or spiritual gifts. Others may unwittingly select symbols that open doorways to energetic realms they are unprepared to navigate. When multiple symbols are combined in a single tattoo, they create a unique energetic matrix that can amplify or alter the individual properties of each component. This matrix becomes a permanent part of your energetic signature, influencing how universal forces interact with your spiritual essence. The placement on specific body meridians or chakra centers further intensifies this relationship, directing energy toward particular aspects of your spiritual development. Before modern understanding of energy and consciousness, ancient cultures implemented rigorous initiatory practices before allowing sacred symbols to be marked upon the body. These preparations ensured the recipient was energetically aligned with the symbol's power and prepared for the spiritual awakening or responsibility it would bring. Today, such symbols are freely chosen without this energetic preparation, leading many souls to unexpected spiritual awakening, or in some cases, spiritual distress. What we must understand is that the soul recognizes these symbols from countless incarnations. Your spirit has encountered these energetic signatures throughout your soul's eternal journey, explaining the inexplicable attraction many feel towards specific symbolic representations. This unconscious recognition is your higher self guiding you toward or away from specific energetic gateways. The phenomenon of being inexplicably drawn to certain tattoo designs extends far beyond aesthetic preference. It often represents the soul's attempt to reconnect with aspects of its journey across multiple incarnations. When you feel an overwhelming pull toward a particular symbol, pattern, or image, you may be responding to a profound soul memory etched into your spiritual DNA through countless lifetimes. Your physical body, while temporary in nature, serves as a canvas upon which the soul seeks to express its eternal journey. Many individuals report experiencing intense emotional reactions when encountering certain symbols or designs, feeling a sense of recognition that transcends rational explanation. This response often indicates that the symbol held significant meaning in a previous incarnation, representing spiritual teachings, tribal affiliations, or sacred vows that shaped your soul's evolution. Consider those who feel compelled to adorn themselves with ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, despite having no conscious connection to that civilization. The soul remembers its incarnations in those temples, the initiations undergone, and the spiritual responsibilities carried. The conscious mind may not access these memories directly, but the soul guides the individual towards symbols that reactivate dormant spiritual knowledge and abilities from those experiences. This phenomenon explains why certain individuals experience profound spiritual awakenings after receiving specific tattoos. The physical inscription of the symbol onto the body creates a resonance that can unlock sealed soul memories, triggering an acceleration of spiritual growth or the sudden emergence of intuitive gifts that were developed in previous incarnations. The body becomes the bridge between past and present, the physical anchor that allows these spiritual memories to resurface in current consciousness. What makes this process particularly significant is that these soul memories are not merely intellectual recollections, but embodied experiences that carry emotional, energetic, and karmic imprints. When you tattoo a symbol that was significant in a past life, you may unknowingly activate unresolved emotional patterns or spiritual commitments from that time. This activation can manifest as sudden shifts in personality, unexpected phobias or attractions, or an inexplicable sense of purpose connected to the symbol's original meaning. The body itself holds cellular memory of past incarnations, a concept supported by emerging research in epigenetics and cellular consciousness. These memories are stored not only in the energetic field, but within the physical structure of cells themselves. When a symbol that held profound meaning in a previous life is tattooed onto the skin, it creates a physical anchor that helps these cellular memories surface into conscious awareness. Certain locations on the body carry stronger connections to specific past life experiences. A symbol tattooed over the heart center might reactivate spiritual vows or emotional connections from previous incarnations. Markings on the hands might reconnect the soul with healing abilities or sacred crafts practiced across multiple lifetimes. The back of the neck, a spiritually sensitive area connected to higher awareness, often serves as a powerful location for symbols that reactivate spiritual gifts or cosmic consciousness. What we must understand is that these soul memories are not random but purposeful. They surface in your current incarnation because they contain wisdom, abilities, or unresolved lessons relevant to your present spiritual journey. Your higher self orchestrates these reconnections through the seemingly mundane act of selecting a tattoo design, guiding you towards symbols that will facilitate your soul's evolution in this lifetime. Those who work consciously with this knowledge understand that tattoos can be intentionally used as tools for soul retrieval, the reclaiming of fragmented aspects of the self lost through traumatic experiences across multiple lifetimes. By mindfully selecting symbols connected to specific incarnations or spiritual traditions, one can facilitate healing and wholeness on the deepest levels of being. This perspective transforms the act of tattooing from mere body decoration to sacred ceremony, a conscious inscription that bridges dimensions and collapses time, allowing the eternal wisdom of the soul to manifest within present awareness. Each symbol becomes a deliberate invocation of specific soul qualities needed for your current spiritual evolution. The body you inhabit today carries the energetic imprint of every form your soul has ever animated. When you choose to permanently mark this temporary vessel with symbols from your soul's vast journey, you create powerful alignments that transcend the limitations of a single lifetime, connecting you with the accumulated wisdom of your eternal existence. When you permanently inscribe a symbol upon your physical form, you engage in far more than an aesthetic decision. You enter into a spiritual agreement that binds your energetic field to specific vibrational frequencies. These agreements function as contracts between your soul and the universal forces represented by each symbol, creating binding energetic commitments that persist beyond the physical lifetime of the body that bears them. This understanding demands profound reverence for the tattooing process, as each mark represents a signature, a conscious or unconscious consent to align with particular spiritual forces. The ancient traditions understood this principle, which is why sacred markings were applied only after extensive preparation, purification, and clear intention setting. In modern society, these spiritual contracts are formed with alarming casualness, often without the conscious awareness of the profound energetic agreements being established. Consider the individual who chooses a protection symbol from an ancient magical tradition. In receiving this mark, they have unknowingly entered into a covenant with the guardianship energies associated with that symbol. This agreement activates a flow of protective forces, but may also require energetic exchanges or spiritual obligations the bearer never consciously consented to fulfill. The universe honors these agreements regardless of whether the individual understands the terms they have accepted. These spiritual contracts become particularly significant when dealing with symbols connected to karmic patterns. Certain designs, especially those associated with specific deities, spiritual traditions, or mystical practices, carry strong karmic imprints. When you tattoo such symbols on your body, you may unknowingly bind yourself to karmic agreements from previous incarnations, or establish new karmic patterns that will follow your soul through future lifetimes. The sacred Om symbol, for instance, represents the primordial cosmic vibration and carries specific spiritual frequencies. When tattooed on the body, it creates an energetic commitment to align with higher consciousness and spiritual awakening. If chosen purely for aesthetic reasons, without respect for its sacred meaning, this contract may manifest as unexpected spiritual awakenings or life circumstances that forcefully direct the individual towards spiritual development, sometimes through challenging experiences that feel inexplicable from a mundane perspective. Similarly, symbols associated with specific deities or ascended masters, whether from Eastern or Western traditions, establish direct energetic connections with these spiritual forces. These connections function as channels through which guidance, energy, and spiritual lessons flow. The individual becomes a vessel for the specific qualities and teachings represented by these higher intelligences, often experiencing profound shifts in life circumstances designed to align them with the spiritual qualities embodied by the deity or master they have unconsciously invoked. What many fail to realize is that the spiritual realm operates through clear agreements and energetic laws. When you willingly accept a symbol onto your physical form, you provide consent for the energies associated with that symbol to work through your life experience. This consent opens doorways that cannot be easily closed through mere intellectual dismissal or change of belief. The agreement exists on soul level and must be addressed through conscious spiritual work if one wishes to modify or release it. This principle applies equally to symbols with more shadowed aspects. Those who tattoo symbols associated with limitation, bondage, or lower vibrational frequencies unknowingly enter into agreements that may manifest as persistent obstacles, emotional patterns, or spiritual blockages. These contracts bind the soul to specific learning experiences associated with the symbol's energy, experiences that will continue to manifest until the spiritual lesson is fully integrated. The intensity of these spiritual contracts is further influenced by the intention and energetic state present during the tattooing process. A symbol applied during a sacred ceremony with clear spiritual intention carries different contractual weight than the same symbol applied in a state of intoxication or emotional distress. The energetic field of both the recipient and the tattoo artist becomes encoded within the symbol, affecting how the spiritual contract manifests in the bearer's life experience. What we must understand is that these spiritual contracts operate beyond the limitations of conscious awareness or belief. Or, just as legal contracts remain binding whether or not one has read the fine print, spiritual agreements established through permanent body markings continue to influence your soul's journey regardless of your conscious understanding of their significance. The universe responds to your energetic signature, not your intellectual position. This perspective transforms the decision to receive a tattoo from casual decoration to sacred covenant, a conscious choice to align with specific spiritual forces and accept the soul lessons, responsibilities, and evolutionary experiences associated with them. Each symbol becomes a deliberate invocation, a prayer made permanent in flesh, establishing agreements that may extend far beyond the current incarnation. Every tattoo creates immediate and lasting alterations to your energetic anatomy that extend far beyond the physical changes to skin and tissue. The energetic impact begins at the moment of inscription and continues to evolve throughout your lifetime, influencing the flow of vital force through your subtle bodies and affecting how your chakra system processes and distributes spiritual energy. The human energy field, composed of multiple interpenetrating layers, responds to tattoos as energetic imprints that modify its natural frequency. Each chakra center vibrates at specific frequencies associated with particular aspects of consciousness. When symbols are placed near or directly over these energy centers, they create permanent modifications to how these chakras receive, process, and transmit universal life force. A protection symbol placed over the solar plexus, for instance, alters how this power center processes experiences related to personal will and self-determination, potentially strengthening its natural function, or, if energetically misaligned, creating blockages in this area of consciousness. The quality of energy flow through your meridian system, the network of subtle channels through which life force circulates, becomes permanently altered by the presence of tattooed symbols. Certain symbols act as amplifiers, accelerating energy movement through specific meridians, while others may function as transformers, changing the quality of energy that flows through these pathways. This explains why individuals often report noticeable shifts in physical vitality, emotional patterns, or spiritual awareness following the application of significant tattoos. What must be understood is that your soul responds to these energetic modifications according to its own eternal wisdom and purpose. The higher self, that aspect of consciousness that exists beyond the limitations of the current incarnation, often guides individuals towards symbols that will facilitate necessary spiritual awakenings or evolutionary leaps. What appears as random aesthetic preference may actually represent the soul's intuitive selection of specific frequencies needed for its current development. This soul guidance explains why individuals feel inexplicably drawn to particular symbols or designs, even when they cannot articulate the reason for this attraction. Your intuition serves as the voice of the soul, guiding you toward energetic tools that will support your highest evolution. When you follow this guidance without resistance, allowing yourself to be drawn to symbols that resonate on the deepest levels, you often discover that these markings catalyze profound spiritual openings or life transitions that were necessary for your soul's growth. The relationship between symbol and soul becomes particularly significant during spiritual awakening processes. Many report that previously acquired tattoos take on new meaning or seem to activate during periods of consciousness expansion, suggesting that certain symbols remain energetically dormant until the individual reaches the appropriate level of spiritual development to work with their frequencies. These delayed activations indicate that the soul selects symbols not only for current needs, but in anticipation of future evolutionary stages. When a tattoo carries negative energy or creates blockages in your energetic system, the soul will often attempt to bring awareness to this disharmony through physical, emotional, or spiritual signals. Persistent discomfort around the tattoo site, emotional reactions when focusing on the image, or intuitive knowing that the symbol no longer serves your highest good, may all indicate that the energetic contract established by this marking requires attention and potential transformation. Addressing such energetic imbalances requires conscious spiritual work, rather than merely physical alteration or removal. While removing or covering a tattoo changes its physical appearance, the energetic imprint remains within the subtle bodies and continues to influence your spiritual field. True transformation of these energies requires ritual cleansing, energy healing, and conscious release of the spiritual contracts established through the original tattooing process. For those seeking to heal or transform the energy of existing tattoos, focused meditation on the symbol while holding the intention of energetic purification can initiate this process. Visualizing divine light flowing through the tattoo, transmuting any lower frequencies into higher vibrations, helps realign the symbol with your current spiritual purpose. Combining this practice with sound healing, particularly the use of specific mantras or tones that resonate with the chakra closest to the tattoo, further facilitates this energetic transformation. The wisdom traditions teach that intention possesses the power to redefine energetic agreements. By consciously working with challenging tattoo energies, approaching them as teachers rather than obstacles, you can transmute even the most difficult symbols into tools for spiritual growth. This alchemical process represents the soul's remarkable capacity to transform all experiences, even energetic challenges, into opportunities for evolution. What we ultimately discover through this understanding is that there are no random choices in the soul's journey. Each symbol that finds its way onto your physical form represents an aspect of your eternal consciousness, seeking expression through this temporary vessel. When approached with awareness, reverence, and conscious intention, tattoos become powerful tools for spiritual awakening, physical manifestations of the soul's deepest wisdom, expressed through the language of symbol, line, and form. The body itself becomes a living temple, each marking a sacred text inscribed upon its walls. Through conscious engagement with these energetic imprints, we transform the act of tattooing from casual decoration to intentional spiritual practice, a deliberate co-creation with universal forces that honors the profound relationship between symbol, soul, and the eternal journey of consciousness through form. Did these revelations about tattoos and their spiritual impact resonate with your inner knowing? If you've experienced the mysterious pull towards certain symbols or felt unexpected shifts after receiving a tattoo, you're witnessing your soul's ancient wisdom in action. Subscribe now to continue this spiritual exploration and unlock more hidden truths about how your physical choices affect your eternal journey. Share your own tattoo experiences in the comments below. What symbol called to you, and how did it change your energy? Your story may be the key that helps another soul understand their own spiritual path. Remember, awareness is the first step to conscious creation. Subscribe, comment, and join our community of seekers as we decode the sacred language written upon our very skin.